What's up, y'all? Today I'm keeping it 100, so some of you may or may not like what I am going to say today. I will try and keep it short. I cannot promise that will be the case, but I will try. Two things that I would like to focus on. One is a little history on a situation that took place last year in Southeast Asia, and then what has been taking place since then, currently. And my second point will be more for the organizers, those that have dance socials and things like that. So with that being said, let's continue. Last year, a buddy of mine in Southeast Asia, he had posted something on Facebook, and it was a young lady had been sexually assaulted, violated, while she was out with a certain someone from this area. I will not mention names. I think many of you already know who that is, so let's continue on. So she had mentioned that they had gone out. The whole plan was for him to teach her bachata, right? And so, long story short, what was supposed to happen was that they were supposed to go somewhere, and then he was going to teach her. And then instead, he suggested that they go out for drinks, and which they did. And then they went to his hotel room, which she did not understand why that was the case. And instead of having like a dance lesson, things happened, and she had made it clear that that was not what she was there for. She had told him no, and he doesn't like to hear the word no, and from what I've heard, tends to get pretty aggressive. So that's one situation. Some of you may call that hearsay, her word against his. So let's continue. Later on that day, someone came forward from Southeast Asia, once again, same area, and had shared a similar incident that she had gone through with him. And she even saved the screenshot, not knowing that she would later on use that. And I will come back to that because what I saw really pissed me off. And but in any case, that's number two. Later on that day, sometime that day, someone from the DC area had came forward on that same post and told us that she was a victim. She also told us that a friend of hers was also a victim as well. This friend of hers said that she had passed out, and at some point she woke up, like just woke up, and there's no other way to describe what had happened, so I'll try and keep it as clean as possible. But pretty much she woke up and he was on top of her, inside her. So that's four that we know about. And then a friend of mine had texted me sometime that night while I was at work and told me that this same individual had done the same thing to her. So it appears that alcohol seems to be a contributing factor so that he can lower their defenses and get them to be a certain kind of way, maybe even pass out. and have his way with him. And there might be a sixth, but I haven't heard the full story, so I really can't go into that right now. But so that is the history of what has taken place. And I mention that because this same individual is slowly starting to weasel his way back into our dance community. I have seen him twice now, and friends of mine have mentioned that they saw him at another event, a place that I don't go to anymore. But so we have a bit of a situation. It really is a problem. I had mentioned earlier that the second person had saved a screenshot of their conversation, and the one thing that really sticks out to me the most is this one thing. After she had told him that she did not want to have sex, after she had made it clear that she had said no to him, he said, and I cannot make it up because you see his name and then what followed after. When she told him that she didn't want to do this, or that she had said no, he said, and I quote, "Even if I had heard you say no, I still would not have believed you." I'm gonna let that sink in. In case you did not hear what I just said, he said, "Even if I had heard you say no, I would not have believed you." Well, that post was up for maybe a few minutes because shortly thereafter, and this is very typical of men that violate women, or men that are rapists or sexually assault women, they try whatever they can to silence the victims. And that is exactly what he did. He went on Facebook and reported that post as, I believe he labeled it as he was being bullied. So Facebook went ahead and deleted that screenshot. I can ask her to share it, but I don't think that is necessary right now. But I mean, if you really want to see it, I'm sure that we can make that happen. In any case, that is what we are dealing with right now. That is the mindset of someone who in 5 different situations has been accused of violating someone. And in my case, kind of personal because I know 2 of the 3 individuals. And so that's point number 1. That is my first post. Many of you in the DC area will know this individual. Some of you are probably friends with him still. And so take it for what it is. You can either believe what you are hearing right now, or you can turn a blind eye and believe what you want. That's on you. For those of you who have been violated, for those of you who are afraid to fully embrace and enjoy this thing called dance because of what we are dealing with, I'm doing this for you because no one else at the moment will. So I figured the best way to raise awareness and to deal with individuals like this one and more, and I'm sure that there are many other stories that we have not heard or have not heard yet, and hopefully this will encourage you or them to come forward and share your story, because the only way that we can beat this is by actually talking, sharing, raising awareness. we need to know who do we need to watch out for, you know? Because otherwise, if we don't, and if we don't do something to make them pay, and I do not mean in a wild, wild west kind of way. No, we're not saying that we are going to actively go out and go after them, or no, nothing like that. But we need to do what we can to keep our dance community safe. So hopefully by doing this, however it turns out from this point on, I can look at my friend, I can look at my friends and honestly say I did what I could. I tried my best. And hopefully that will encourage more people to step forward and do what the laws of this country are not doing, which is protecting the innocent, protecting the victims, helping those that need help, but they will not come forward because those before them have tried and lawyers have made it impossible for them to convict those that have violated them. So if the laws will not help us, then maybe we can help each other. So that is the history, and as I mentioned, this individual is now really trying to get back into our dance community in the Washington, D.C. area. So now my second point is to the organizers, the promoters, club promoters, dance socials. There are so many, so I'm not going to name them. But when you have someone that tells one of his victims that even if he had heard her say the word no, that he would not have believed her, and pretty much is saying that even if she said no, he would not have stopped. How do you live with yourself when you let this individual into your establishment? How can you look at the women at your socials, at your nightclubs? How can you look them in the eye when possibly one or more at your establishment are looking at this individual that has violated them, and you let him walk through your door or your festival or your congress or whatever? How do you look yourself in the mirror and live with that? So this is going out to anyone and everyone that has anything to do with hosting any type of dance venue. So, and I say that because at what point will this become personal to you and you will stand and do what is right? Are you going to wait until he or someone like him, or maybe someone worse, does something to someone that is close to you, a dear friend, a sister, a goddaughter, a cousin, your mom, depending on how old you are? At what point are you going to man up? Well, maybe that is the wrong phrase here. When will you take a stand? You know? Are you just going to just pretend that nothing happened, despite the overwhelming evidence that we have? This is not a court of law, but 5 instances that we know about, and you want to turn a blind eye? When is it going to stop? So again, I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for everyone. Because one day, this individual or someone like him could end up doing this to someone that you know. Could be a relative, it could be a good friend, it could be anyone. I do not know how we are going to manage this or put a stop to this. I don't know if we can. But if we can somehow make a strong statement that we are not going to stand for this, then I will have done my part. And maybe those in their small town communities or the suburbs or their metropolis where they have dance communities, maybe they will follow, and we can somehow put a stop to this so that years later, your children's, your daughters and nieces and goddaughters, and because many of them will probably want to take up dancing. And we need to do what we can to make sure that we leave this dance community in a better place. So I could go on, but hopefully that is enough to get your mind going. We have a situation and we need to do something. Either way, here's the thing. Either way, whichever way you choose to go, and these are to the organizers and the club promoters, by taking action one way, you are sending a message that you are behind us and that you are willing to support the victims and support everyone that wants to take a stand against sexual assault, rape, what have you. Or it will go the other way. If you take a stand and you say we are going to let this individual or these individuals still attend our venues, then the message is clear. You might as well just spit in their faces and say, no, we care more about their $5, $10, or $20 going towards us than we do about keeping you safe. And that's the bottom line. So it's heartbreaking. It really is. And I talked to so many individuals about what they have gone through, and I have talked to individuals that want to make a difference in this dance community and stop the madness. I mean, there's no other way to put it. So either you are with us or you're not with us. But hopefully, you know, something positive will come out from this, and we'll see. So that being said, yeah, I don't know. Peace.